So today we're taking the cluster out and putting it in a box to ship it out. And then the other half of this video is going to be me getting, hopefully, the new cluster back, putting it back in, and testing it out. So this shouldn't be that long of a video, or at least this half shouldn't be that much, because it's really just taking screws off. And I should have got a flashlight. I guess I'll just use my phone. So essentially there's screws. You have to take this steering column off right here. And then once you have this off, there's screws holding the actual plastic piece on. And then you take the whole thing out, essentially. And from the back, you take the cluster out. So it shouldn't be that hard. We have to be careful because there is already a crack right here. And we don't want to mess it up because this might be a little hard to replace. So let's go ahead and start taking it off. And yeah. All right, y'all. So far, 3 screws on the steering column, 2 screws on this little bracket that sits below the cluster. It also has a vent. This one obviously has a boost timer, which is terrible. But this has a vent, so that's why it's hanging here. So it has all this ducting that's connected to it. So let's see if I can show y'all. So there you go. See, there's the ducking. There's the boost timer wire. There is the screw hole for the cluster. There's the screw hole for this little plastic piece that the vent was on. And then 1 screw, 2 screws, 3 screws for the steering column. Another screw for the bracket that holds the vent. And then we have a screw there for the little plastic that goes around the cluster. So now I believe right behind this little plastic piece on the side here, we have to take that off because there's screws back there as well, if I remember correctly. There's some vents right here as well. These go into the door. So that thing I took off was just a seal to get the vent past the door, or to the door. And now I don't think I have enough room actually to take this screw out, but it's actually loose already, so I'm just gonna use my hand. Good thing the guy didn't screw everything right back up. There we go. There's going to be some wires connected to it, so we got to disconnect those wires. Let me take this out of the way. My phone mount. I believe 3 or 2 wires. There are 3, maybe 4 actually. So let's connect this wire here. There's, I believe, 3 or 2 wires. There are 3, maybe 4 actually. So I got to disconnect all these wires before I yank it out because I don't want to rip nothing. So let me see, trying to determine the best way to do this. I think the best way would be actually to get in the passenger seat so I can get the other side first, because I think the other side maybe have more accessibility, because this side I have my wife's car and I can't open the door all the way. Okay. That shouldn't be that hard. So I got this one. I got another one down there. This one back here. Actually, yeah. Whew, it's a lot to take out, actually. But I'm already almost done. It's almost done now. I just have to take all this out. So, well, it's all out now. Unfortunately, while it does look really decent in here, obviously it's dirty. unfortunately, this looks terrible. There's like warping in it. Obviously it doesn't work, but I find it interesting because aside from all this, this was cracked already to begin with. We got better lighting now. So there's a crack in there. When I start, there's another crack over here. When I start taking it apart, it actually cracked. Literally, I didn't even yank on it. It just cracked. So maybe I just didn't notice it because it was still intact, but yeah. So it's interesting. And I'm not even sure, because they're held in there by screws, so I don't even know why it would try to come out. You should be... Yeah, they're held in there by screws. So there's no reason for it to come apart like that. It came apart around the screws. There's another screw. That's crazy. So I should probably get a new... Yeah. Just to be safe, because I don't like that it's cracked. Although it's going to be covered up. So technically, not a big deal. But there, yeah, like this crack here, that wasn't me. Because I literally just pulled it from the front. So this, you could say that was me. But like I said, it already had cracks in it. So it was already brittle. And maybe I just didn't notice that it had breaking points where the cracks were. Because I literally just pulled it from the front. I didn't pull it from the middle there. So let me see if I can at least place it back together and hope for the best. Back here, there's one screw, two screw, so I'm taking those off. Then it's just a matter of yanking it out without breaking it out. So yeah, let's try it. Oh, easy peasy. Easy peasy. Now I can ship it. All right, so let's check this thing out to see if there is a way. Maybe I can just get this piece. If I can just get this piece, I should be all right. But let me take it apart. Literally, it was being held on by one screw. I undid one screw and the whole thing came apart. So now the question is, can I just buy this piece? Because look at it. It's like it was broken on the inside. Right here. All this is cracked. It's literally cracked at every possible point. This looks like it was cracked too. So I wonder if I can just buy this piece. Better get to the forums or Facebook groups and see if somebody can sell this, or somebody knows where I can buy one of these. Because this is all I need. Really, everything else, this is in decent condition. And I can take all the extra plastic pieces that stayed on. Yeah, this looks decent. Obviously, minus this crack right here. It looks pretty good. So maybe I'll just get a whole new thing. Because all this stuff comes off. All these brackets come off. So I could potentially just get a whole new thing. And I'm pretty sure I'll have to test it, but I think that doesn't work. So, yeah. So we have it apart. We have this out. And now we can ship it out. Yeah, there's warping all over this thing. So I don't know if it's just old age or what. No, it's corroded. It's definitely corroded around the... You see where all these little shiny metal pieces are right here? You can see like brown rust around them. Corroded. So... All right, let's ship it out. Hopefully we get it back in a good amount of time. I will be in Atlanta Friday for work, so maybe I can actually pick it up instead of getting it shipped back. So that would be pretty interesting. Hopefully they let me do that. If not, no big deal, I'll get it shipped back. Perfect. All right, put this in the box and let's go. So it just arrived. Here is my cluster. Now, here we are. What happened? What was done? So, all right, first, huge shout out to Atlanta Speedometer. That's who I sent my speedometer to get essentially repaired. The whole gauge cluster needed to be repaired. So I said it to them. Pretty much you got to tell them what's wrong, what was not working. So my message to them was speedometer, tachometer, odometer don't work. And they ask you if you want your backlighting replaced, which I said yes, because 30-something year old lights probably. All right. So upon arrival, this was obviously a kilometer per hour unit, so they had to note that. So the cluster was missing the back connector cover. Bench tested, blah, blah, blah. Observed the speedometer, odometer, and tachometer were not working for the bench test. Observed the odometer backlighting bulb was not lighting. Disassembled the cluster and observed corrosion on the speedometer circuit board, confirming the power supply has failed for the speedometer and odometer assembly and tachometer assembly. So what they replied, essentially this is what they repaired. We cleaned the corrosion off the circuit board. We built the power supplies for both the speedometer, odometer, and tachometer assemblies. Repaired an open winding of the speedometer stepper motor. Cleaned the contacts for the odometer bulb and verified operation of the bulb. Calibrated, tested, and verified operation of both the speedometer and tachometer, replacing all backlighting. Testing and verified all bulbs were good. When the cluster arrived, the kilometers were 45,581. When it left out, because of testing and everything, it was 45,600. So it does have a 5-year warranty on the repair and a 1-year warranty on the backlighting. So I'll show you guys. It has this little seal right here showing that if obviously you take it apart, the warranty is void. So what I will be doing is I will be installing this real quick. I'm not going to put the entire assembly together. I just want to plug everything up, turn the car on, make sure everything works. And then once I verify that everything works, I will put it all back together and we will go on a little drive. So I'll show you all that while I'm talking, but essentially we will go on a little drive and make sure everything works, make sure the RPM gauge is moving, make sure the speed gauge is moving. And then once all that is done, the car will be complete, because at this point of the video, which you guys will see in the next video, I have installed the radio as well. So the next video will go over me installing that, because I already had this taken out. I went ahead and replaced this because I needed it to be done. So let me go ahead and show you guys me installing this back. Here we are, everyone. Moment of truth. I just connected the 4 connectors back there. So here we go. If I can find the hole. Oh my God, it's the first time this has ever happened. Look at that. Speedo. Obviously, I don't know if the Speedo works yet, but we have the odometer here. The tachometer is working. It's idling about 1,500. So at cold start, it'll always idle high because of the fuel pump. So the fuel pump makes it to where it runs rich at the beginning, but it works, everybody. It works. That's cool. So huge shout out to Atlanta Speedometer. Hooked me up, man. And it took them a whole 24 hours to get it done, fixed, and sent back to me. So that's crazy. So with that said, super stoked with this. I will put everything back together, put all the stuff back on,
and I'll take it for a drive real quick, but you guys will already have seen it by the time I talk about this again. But yeah, great stuff. Super happy. At this point, the car is completely fixed. The only thing that I have to complain about, which I'll talk about in the next video, is I actually have to remove something in order to get the car to where I want it to be. So I'll talk about that in the next video when we talk about the radio. But great stuff. Great stuff. Let me put this back all together. I'm super ecstatic, super happy. So with that said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.